Hey, now, good people, what is happening? My name is Jeremy. This is the Full Coverage Football Show. On the other side of this amazing introduction, we are talking Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence, 2021 number one pick versus 2020 number one pick. Who's better? Who has a higher ceiling? Who's going to go further? Who's more likely to end up in the Hall of Fame? You can hear Drew Coffin. We'll be joined shortly by my tag team partner, Mr. Drew Ward. We'll talk Ward's wages. We're picking games, and we're issuing arrest warrants. That's right. We got the power. We're the judge, not the Joe judge. We're the judges. We're going to have all kinds of fun. We'll see you in just a little bit. But first, check out our sweet open. Rolling that open with a little bit of the West Coast vibe to it, just like Dr. Dre is going to do at the Super Bowl this year. Dr. Dre is a Super Bowl halftime show. What up? I'm Jeremy. That's Drew. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm good, man. Sorry, amateur mistake. I thought my mic was muted. I'm over here coughing my ass off, but we're fine. Everything's good. I'm doing good, bud. How are you?
I was worried about you for a second.
I always mute my mic, but I just started coughing, and it kind of.
And usually when I go in solo mode, there, StreamYard takes care of it. But tonight they're like, screw it. Yeah. So that's right. We're live on StreamYard. We're live on Twitter at Somerville CLE. We are live on our Facebook page at FCFS Pod. We're also live on YouTube as always. And if you're missing it now, or you want to check us out again, you can check us out anywhere you get your podcast. But tonight, man, it's not a great Thursday night game, but it has potential to be kind of fun because we got last year's number one pick versus this year's number one pick. I mean, what do you think so far about what you've seen out of these two guys?
Well, I think one's set up for way better success offensively, and you could argue, Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault are weapons, and James Robinson. But for me, I think that Joe Burrow's already kind of proven that he's can play. I think you add in Jamar Chase, which we've talked that it was a controversial pick at the time because of Penei Sewell and other guys that were there that could protect the quarterback. But Joe Burrow does not seem to have missed a step off of the injury. Now, Joe Burrow doesn't have the most electric arm that you're going to see, but he's pretty damn accurate, and he's set up for success with that offense and what they do. And on the other side, you throw in Urban Meyer. And that's kind of the wild card in this situation. Rookie quarterback, rookie head coach. It's setting up to be tough, and it's been tough for him so far. Certainly, tonight is a game that I think is winnable for Jacksonville, but I think Trevor Lawrence kind of needs it for his confidence. I don't think Joe Burrow does to that extent.
No, Joe Burrow's coming off a big win, his first division win as a starter over Pittsburgh, who does not look good, but we said that in the preseason. We didn't think they were going to be that great. Now, for the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, this team's lost 18 straight. 12 of those 18 by double digits. This team has not been in it. Trevor Lawrence start the year. I know everyone's like, he didn't lose a game in high school. He didn't lose a game in college, blah, blah, blah. We get that, but this is a pros, totally different thing.
Sure is.
He's not been good. I mean, it's not hating on him or anything. It's just he hasn't been very good. He's struggled with decision-making. Like you said before we came on, he's taken stupid losses. There's a time where he was running out of the pocket. He could have thrown the ball away. Instead, he runs out of bounds, takes a 3-yard loss. So you're bringing up rather than 2nd and 10, you're going 2nd and 13. You don't want to be behind the sticks. And he's been basically doing that the first 4 games here. However, at this point, the Jags are leading 7-0.
And it's 3 weeks.
And it's 3 weeks in. And
I'm not going to write off Trevor Lawrence for being terrible at this point, nor am I Zach Wilson. I'm not going to write off any of them.
You look at the rookie quarterbacks; they're 1-10 combined. They have not been good. The only win out of that is Mac Jones, and Mac Jones did nothing in the game they won. And we'll talk more about Mac Jones later because in our game of the week, believe it or not,
Mac Jones is there.
Mac Jones is there, even though no one is talking about him. We will talk about what Robert Kraft has said, though, about the head coach of the New England Patriots. We'll get to that later. We're also going to be joined by at Detroit BC around 9 o'clock. But before we get to that, we're talking Burrow Lawrence. Burrow or Lawrence, if you were starting a team right now, today, and you needed to start in 4 weeks, you had 4 weeks to prepare, who would you pick?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. I'm with you on that. I can't go against Burrow because even though Burrow doesn't look the part as much as Trevor Lawrence does, he's got that moxie,
Besides
that
the goofy ass hair.
Yeah, I mean, the goofy ass hair does throw you off. But he's got everything. He's got all the intangibles you want in a quarterback. His arm isn't the greatest, as you said. It's good enough. He's very accurate. And you have to look at him right now to see how good he's doing. He's still managing the offense, doing pretty solid. And he's still not 100% off that ACL injury.
Well, no. And you can't expect him to be like, right? It's going to be in the back end of the season or next year even to where you feel fully comfortable after coming back from an injury. I don't want to speak that I know what Joe Burrow feels like or what his, fuck that me feels like. But I will say that he has come in and he's done a really good job and he's shown signs like immediately last year for the most part. He showed that there's signs that he was a good player. Now the team, they're a little funky orchestrated, but that's not a Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow conversation.
That's a Cincinnati thing.
Yeah, for me, I think at this point it has to be Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence will probably get there. I just worry that if Urban's so bad, and I'm not saying he is, it's been 3 weeks. I'm not going to judge a head coach off of 3 weeks either because I just don't think it's fair. But sometimes you go to the really bad situation, especially when you're the number one pick. We talk about it all the time, and hopefully that's not the case for Trevor Lawrence, to where he builds up so many skeletons in the closet over a certain span where his confidence is diminished, regardless of when he gets to another destination, things like that. He's already diminished his confidence, which you have to have. Otherwise, as a quarterback, you just try to you're the dump off guy, right? Mm-hmm. You have to be able to sit back there and just throw it and not worry about the consequences. And once you lose and lose and lose and continue to have bad games, I think that certainly creeps up.
Absolutely. And another thing we have to remember, these are rookie quarterbacks. We've all been spoiled by the recent rookie classes. Dak Prescott is a rookie. Amazing. Justin Herbert last year, obviously incredible. Baker Mayfield had a great rookie season. He obviously came back down to earth the next year. Joe Burrow was excellent during his rookie season. We've seen a lot of really good rookies. For every Andrew Luck, for every Dak Prescott, there's guys who struggle to start and have to eventually build their way up. And that's what these guys are doing, all the young rookie quarterbacks. They went into bad situations. They've got head coaches who are either not that good. We'll talk about you later, Matt Nagy. I got shit to say to you. But anyway, Urban Meyer, we've already said he's struggling. We don't know Urban. Maybe he gets it. Maybe eventually it does work out. This roster is okay. It's not great. There's a reason they had the number one pick. But we have to stop putting these huge expectations on these rookie quarterbacks and know that they are learning on the fly, and it's not always great to start them game one. So, yeah, we hated the Andy Dalton starting over Justin Fields thing. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe their head coach just sucks. But like I said, we'll get into that later.
Justin Fields almost died out there.
I'm a Browns fan, and I felt bad for Justin Fields.
I started feeling bad for him. I mean, he was getting – Myles Garrett was in his lap the entire afternoon.
Myles Garrett is a scary man. Having him run at you all day, just terrifying.
I was watching football with some other people, and like they were Googling like what's the record amount of sacks in the game, because that's like kind of where we were trending in that game. It's just that's getting off of the Bears nasty. Or whatnot. And but
we will definitely get into that because I got shit to say about Matt Nagy. We're going to be joined shortly here by Detroit BC. He'll be joining us at some point. I don't know when, but probably in the next few minutes. We'll talk fantasy football with him as we always do. But right now we're going to keep with Burrow and Lawrence. Out of these two guys, who is more likely, in your opinion? This is jumping way ahead, and we're going ESPN style here.
If you say, are you going to say a Hall of Famer?
Yeah. Who is more likely to be a Hall of Famer, in your opinion?
And Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence?
I mean,
just because he has all the
everything.
Tools?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a reason this guy was the number one prospect quarterback since the aforementioned Andrew Luck, who is still a legend. I miss him. This league was a better league with Andrew Luck in it. I certainly believe that. But I just think his skill set is more I think it has a higher upside than Joe Burrow's. Now, whether that potential is ever lived up to, now that's a different story that I might be on the I don't want to say I'm on the downside of it, but it's certainly not gotten out to a great start, and that's okay. But overall, his skill set, I think, is well above what Joe. Yeah,
it is. And how stupid of a conversation is even to bring up? Like, who's a Hall of Famer after 3 games? Who's more likely? But we figured we'd throw in one stupid ESPN type of thing. But let's get into the fun. Detroit Beastie joining the show. We're going to talk fantasy football. You can find him on Twitter at Detroit Beastie. Check out Bottom of the Barrel at Team Riser Fall. That's you. That is you. How you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm good. Yeah, I thought it was me. I was just double checking. So
what's up, bud?
Glad to be here this evening. Got the hoodie on. October is tomorrow. I love the fall. The leaves changing, the pumpkin carving, Halloween, and horror movies. Did you know the new Halloween, Michael Myers, Halloween Kills, opens, I believe, on the 15th.
Yep, October 15th on Peacock as well.
Hang the hell on. You're telling me there's a new one? They're still doing those?
Yeah, but no, here, Drew, I know what you're saying. I'm a huge horror buff and Halloween buff, but there's like a 3 set of them. The original one was in 2018, which is a direct spin-off of the original 2 with Laurie Strode, with what's her name? Jamie Lee Curtis. All the bullshit in between, it's like that never happened. 4, 5, 6, H2O, which I have on now. Yeah,
where he
Resurrection.
Killed Busta Rhymes?
Yeah, that one's on right now. Awful, but I like to run through them. It's nice to have on.
You're leading up to Halloween. You're getting good vibes.
But they have it's a 3-pack of it. Blumhouse is the studio, and they're fantastic. Laurie Strode reprises her role, and there's 3 of them. As I said, 2018 was one, directly like 30, 40 years after the original events when she was a teenager. The one on the 15th is Halloween Kills, and then they got the next one scheduled for a year, from today's date, called Halloween Ends, and that's going to be it. So it's all legit. It's a legit Halloween movie. There's no bullshit supernatural stuff. He's not superhuman. He's not flying. I mean, it just
kills people.
Yeah, but it's all realistic. Like Laurie Strode, she's like 60. She looks awful. Yeah. She's like an old lady, and they're great, and I can really dig into it. So I'm gonna go see it live the morning it opens, and then I'm going to stream it later that night.
That's fantastic. But, come on. For those of you who didn't see the 2018 version, how does he escape the basement? They set him on fire in there. How does he get out of the basement, man? Come on. We're not saying he's supernatural, but...
You haven't seen...
They set him on fire in the basement, didn't they?
Well, here's the thing. If you watch the trailer for this one, it's all lit on fire, and when they're leaving, Jamie Lee or Laurie and her daughter and her mother, they're in like the back of a truck pulling away, and the fire department comes to the scene to put it out, and you can see I'm not spoiling anything. You can see that the firemen go in to put the fire out, and the ground or the floor level breaks, and a firefighter falls below with Michael, and you see a firefighter put his hit. He's going to get his other firefighter buddy. Michael Myers grabs it, and he goes on a rampage and kills all the firefighters. It looks fantastic. All right,
so they do explain it. I forgot about the fire department driving past them as they drove away.
Last thing before we get too far out of line. Are you more excited for the Halloween or the Bond?
Oh God, that's a great question. Damn it, I'm going to say Halloween.
Wow, all right, you are in the spirit. No doubt, I'm with you, man. All right,
I love Halloween.
For Bond, though.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to see that one. That one's open tomorrow, right here.
Is it tomorrow? I thought it was a week. I thought it was October 9th or something.
I have it in my planner. I'll have to look. I swear to God, I put it in my planner.
Because tomorrow's the Sopranos prequel, which I'm also psyched about.
Yes, that's another great one. Is that right? Can I watch that? Can I watch that on HBO Max? I would imagine.
I think it's available on HBO Max at possibly midnight tonight, even.
Then I won't be up at midnight. I'm going to bed right after we're done here.
Tonight.
So. Stop it.
Oh wait, you're not staying up.
Movies. I mean, you can catch him on Twitter at Detroit BC and talk fantasy football. Obviously, the man knows movies. You can also check out Bottom of the Barrel at Team Riser Fall, and you got your own show doing a podcast for Bottom of the Barrel now, aren't you? With,
yeah,
Hammerjacks.
We did that last year too, and it was successful, so we brought it back. And unfortunately, not a conflict of interest, but schedules, we didn't get together in week 2 and 3, but we got it done today, and it was great. I always love talking to David and the Hammerjacks, Hammercast. He just lets me riff, man. I literally talked for, I don't know how long the broadcast was. I'm going to say 45 minutes, and I would imagine I talked for 40 of those minutes.
Fantastic.
Dave's a good dude.
He is a good dude.
So we were talking Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence here. Trevor Lawrence obviously struggling. Joe Burrow looking pretty good. Either one of these quarterbacks worth starting in any leagues?
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them. And look at, I know, in Jacksonville, right, he's a young kid. He's getting it done a little bit with his legs. I have it on, I don't have, how can I put this? I don't have cable here. I stream only. I cut the cord, but I have it,
We all do, I think.
The Yahoo Sports app gives it away for free, right? Thursday night, Sunday night. So I watch it there. And Trevor Lawrence looked good. He got off a couple carries with his legs, got a first down. I know James Robinson will kind of I don't want to say vulture some carries from Lawrence inside the red zone, but this isn't college anymore. I believe Troy Aikman said it, in no quite the same words, where you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy, because Trevor Lawrence, you could see he's running backwards trying to make something happen, and this shit is in college. You can't, the same throws that you can sneakily get away in college, those are INTs in the pros. Everybody's bigger, stronger, faster. So of the two, I would absolutely start both of them. Of the two, I think I would prefer Joe Burrow. I heard what Drew was saying when I was in the lobby here. You guys are talking Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Burrow's played 5 games. He blew out his knee, and Lawrence has played 3. But it's good conversation. Nobody really wants to discuss that because it's so fucking outlandish. So I'm glad you guys are talking about it here.
Yeah, we call it an ESPN moment. We're just going way out of bounds with stuff that's not even something we're going to worry about for 8 more years. As far as other quarterbacks, who you like in bottom of the barrel this week?
Oh, this is a good one here. And really quick, I want to say, how about Peyton Barber last week? Well, that was a great call. I want to start, like I mentioned, Tyler Heineke, Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff in Detroit, but I want to stop at Sam Darnold. Carolina goes to Dallas. Dallas is 24th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Sammy Darnold's only $7,200 on FanDuel, only $6,000 on DraftKings. Don't look now, but it's crazy to me. The Carolina Panthers are 3-0.
I know.
And they look good. I mean, they lose Christian McCaffrey, Chuba, however you say it, 1B, probably Chuba. You're going to have a lot of ownership on, like, as a one-off in Chuba. So I might fade Hubbard across the board here, but I love pairing Sam Darnold with a couple other, Carolina Panthers, and we'll get to that. I want to briefly stop at Teddy Bridgewater as well. Denver plays Baltimore. Baltimore doesn't exactly instill fear in defense. They're 28th overall against opposing quarterbacks. Teddy, 2 gloves, $6,800 on FanDuel, $5,700 on DraftKings. And who I'm planting my flag on this weekend, you guys might kick me off the broadcast, but I'd like to think at this point I've had some running success with this outlandish stuff. It's Jacoby Brissett in Miami. Miami plays they host the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 21st overall against opposing quarterbacks. Jacoby, $6,500 on FanDuel, only $5,100 on DraftKings. And Jeremy, I see you writing that down and bold it, put it in red. Jacoby Brissett he's a gamer, dude. This guy loves playing football. Whenever he's given the chance, this guy goes all out. Now I know what you're going to say. I can read your guys' mind. Well, he didn't score a touchdown last week. What the hell are you playing Jacoby Brissett for? But he got some of the job done with his legs. We all talk about DFS. These running quarterbacks are like gold mines, and I love Jacoby Brissett this weekend.
It's also a revenge game for him. I mean, that team gave up on him basically.
Yeah, very
Brought in
quick,
Carson
too.
Wentz, gave up a lot to get Carson when you could have just kept Jacoby.
Bad move.
Jacoby's got something to prove.
This isn't shocking, but to be honest with you, and I'm not kidding, I'd rather have Jacoby Brissett over Carson Wentz. I mean, come on. What
He's
are we
also
doing
healthy. Carson Wentz can't stay healthy.
Yeah, his legs his ankles are just like limp. They're just hanging there.
I disagree with you guys, but let's go. We're good. Come on. Are we going to say that we'd rather have Jacoby Brissett than Carson Wentz? I know that Carson Wentz has been banged up, but
he has been.
But
when has he not been banged
we
up?
know what Jacoby Brissett is, though. Like, we know what he is.
We know
He's
what Jacoby
trustworthy.
is, but we also know that Carson Wentz is never on the field anymore.
You know what? Jacoby Brissett is a fine, serviceable quarterback. Is what he is. And I think that I just think Carson Wentz's ceiling is higher, and I know that seems ridiculous at this point,
Carson Wentz
because they're 0-3.
though, has
Well,
steadily
certainly.
declined.
Well, you know what?
Meanwhile,
The Colts,
Jacoby-
they grab Carson Wentz, and it's like, the Colts must be serious about winning now. Now they're stuck at they're looking to bridge the gap right now with quarterback, and it's crazy to me. Carson Wentz is not going to get you to the promised land, and I'm telling you, the Colts better figure out the quarterback position quick, because I absolutely love their defense.
Roster.
Yeah,
and
their roster
in general. Yeah.
It's outstanding. So they better get it together quick. In terms of running backs, if you boys want to go there, Derrick Henry is the most expensive running back, rightfully so, playing the Jets. They're 29th overall against opposing running backs. This guy's going to put up 300 yards on the ground. And it's not even being over dramatic here. I love both Buffalo running backs, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary. I love Jamal Williams in Detroit, but I want to stop at Kenneth Gainwell. Philadelphia Eagles, they host actually Kansas City. Kansas City is 30th overall against opposing running backs. They're not that scary. To me personally, Kansas City is no doubt one of the better teams in the NFL, if not the greatest, but they have a lot of holes. They looked awful against the Chargers. They let the Chargers win, and rightfully so. All respect to Herbs and the Chargers there, but Kenneth Gainwell, only
Herb
55. Yeah, only $5,500 on FanDuel, $4,300 on DraftKings. I also love Naeem Hines. I love Jeremy. You'll love this one. Demetric Felton, the Cleveland Browns. He's listed on FanDuel as a running back, but he kind of plays more wide receiver than anything, which is perfect. 46. I mean, I won't even give his prices. He's dead last across the board in all sites. And two guys I want to mention aside from Miami's quarterback. I'm hitching my wagon to some New York Jets this week, and I know what you're thinking. Maybe you're not. You expect this outlandish, wild behavior.
Well, that's what makes it great, right?
Yeah.
Like that. It's not like start Patrick Mahomes. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what we're doing here. You're given value to plug in lineups to be able to play guys that you like at the top.
No
and that's
doubt.
right. That in itself is everybody wants to play like, oh, I want to play this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, your salary doesn't lend itself to that.
Yeah.
So you have to find plays that go against the grain, because that also gives you an advantage over anything else.
No doubt. That was the first tagline I ever wrote or recorded for Bottom of the Barrel was, we all know those high-priced studs to put in your lineup. But here at Bottom of the Barrel, I got some players that will help your lineup pop. It's corny, but it's stuck with me through all these years. So again, Ty Johnson and rookie Michael Carter. Ty Johnson, only $4,700 on FanDuel, $4,600 on DraftKings. And then the rookie back, Carter, $5,300 on FanDuel, $4,500 on DraftKings. And Tennessee, as I believe in my notes, it says they're 15th overall against opposing running backs. So to me, getting in on the New York Jets offensive weapons, if you want offensive players, however you want to put that, is just a calculated move. I don't know anybody on earth who's going to be on the New York Jets. And I've been checking throughout the day, and I just checked moments before I joined the show. Right now, in terms of ownership percentage, Ty Johnson is less than 1% owned on both FanDuel and DraftKings. Michael Carter's not that far behind. Michael Carter's not even 2% owned on both sites. So I'm telling you, when's the last I should have looked this up. I had the same conversation with David on Hammercast. When's the last time a professional football team has been shut out points-wise in back-to-back games? I don't know. I don't think it's that common, especially in today's day and age. So I'm telling you, the New York Jets will score some points in this one. I have the final, if it matters. I got to flip the page here. I have the final about 31-20 in favor of Indianapolis, but the Jets, they'll put up 20 points, maybe 21 points, and who's to say Ty Johnson and Michael Carter both can't score a touchdown? One in the air, one on the ground here. So give me those boys. And then wide receivers really quick. Cooper Kupp, how proud. I'm very happy. Cooper Kupp is the most expensive wide receiver on FanDuel in the slate, and rightfully so. Him and Stafford they look fantastic. Cooper Kupp, $8,600 on FanDuel, $7,800 on DraftKings. I say that, as you know, to put, the cheaper guys' prices, in perspective here. I love Corey Davis to pair in that New York Jets stack. Jalen Reagor in Philadelphia would be great. I want to stop at the Miami Dolphins boys. Devontae Parker and Jalen Waddle. The Colts 29th overall against opposing wide receivers. Parker is $5,400 on FanDuel. Jeremy, I want you to write this down and then report back tomorrow.
I got you.
With it. Devontae Parker, $5,400 on FanDuel, $5,200 on DraftKings. And then the rookie, Jalen Waddle, he's just as much on FanDuel, $5,400. And on DraftKings, he's cheaper, $4,900. So look, here's the thing that I did earlier, actually Sunday night, Monday morning. I built the line and I stacked Jacoby Brissett, Devontae Parker, and Jalen Waddle. Then it allows you could throw Mike Gesicki at tight end in there too, and then it allows you to go out and roster the most expensive player at each position, and you'll still have money left over. So nice. stack the Miami Dolphins, and then you can play Derrick Henry. You can play, who's another stud wide running back we love this weekend? Probably, Dalvin Cook if he's active. Alvin Kamara against the Giants. So look, I have a lot riding on the Miami Dolphins stack this week. So.
And listen, Jacoby Brissett's going to throw to Mike Gesicki. I think Mike Gesicki had 12 targets last week.
That was awesome.
So he's gonna get opportunities. So we'll just see what happens.
And look, I have Brissett in my projections right now to throw the ball 35 plus times, 250 yards, a touchdown or two. And then on the ground, you're looking at, this is ambitious, but you're looking at 20, 25 yards on the ground. So for his price, this is the reason I created Bottom of the Barrels for a player like Brissett. And then you kind of build off that. So give me both Miami Dolphins wide receivers. One more wide receiver stack. It's the Lions, Khalif Raymond and Quintez Cephas. Detroit goes to Chicago. Everybody's all weirded out about Chicago, like they're really good on defense. Not really. Their head coach Matt Nagy.
Overrated.
Yeah, Matt Nagy is a dipshit at head coach. They're good actually against running backs. They're 5th overall. So I'm still not going to stop me from. Yeah, there he is. It's still not going to stop me from fading, DeAndre Swift or Jamal Williams. But look. They're 28th overall against opposing wide receivers. So Khalif Raymond, $5,300 on FanDuel, $4,400 on DraftKings, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, Drew, you can back me up here. Khalif Raymond had double-digit targets last week, so that tells me. And you don't even have to open a computer or just watch the game. You can see that the Lions have no qualms about peppering this kid with targets. So I love Khalif Raymond, and I love stacking him with Quintez Cephas, who is $5,200 on FanDuel, only $4,000 on DraftKings here. So I did this last year, and why not? Let's do it again this season. I love picking those stacks, but it's not conventional way. Two wide receivers from the same team, which not a lot of folks like to do, or two running backs from the same team, which is like, you'll get kicked out of fantasy football or raked over the coals for that one. And really quick, in passing, if you like Darnold, stack him with Terrace Marshall Jr., rookie, $5,000 on FanDuel, only $4,000 on DraftKings. And then, listen, I mentioned 42 players in week 4, Bottom of the Barrel, so we would be here until next week if we went over each one with a fine-tooth comb. I love Duvernay, Van Jefferson Jr., Russell Gage. Be on the lookout. He didn't play last weekend. If he's out, I love the Olamide Zacharias. He's a great play. And again, Elijah Moore, the rookie. There's no way the Jets are going to stay down this long. Maybe they stink at the end of the season, sure, but at a per-game basis, that's all we're looking to do when it comes to DFS. In terms of the tight ends, again, Travis Kelce, the highest, priced guy, rightfully so, stone cold stud, keep it moving, right? I love Pat Freiermuth, rookie from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I definitely want you to write that one down, Jeremy. Pat Freiermuth. Pittsburgh is at Green Bay. Green Bay, is 29th overall against opposing tight ends. $5,000 on FanDuel, only $3,100 on DraftKings. And again, he is without doubt the new tight end one in Pittsburgh. I've went on rants on this broadcast about how much dog shit Eric Ebron is. I can't stand the guy.
Wait,
and again,
Eric Ebron's not good.
No. And Pat Freiermuth has already replaced him as a rookie in 2-3 games here. So give me Pat Freiermuth. Here's another one. If you want to stack more Carolina Panthers, Darnold, Terrace Marshall, get the rookie tight end Tommy Tremble. They're playing in Dallas. Dallas is 27th overall against opposing tight ends. He is $4,800 on FanDuel, only $2,500 on DraftKings.
Wow.
Now I wrote when I was with the Undroppables. They gave me like some rookie kids. kids to write profiles on. All the studs were, all the hot prospects were taken. So I settled on Tommy Trimble. And this kid is unbelievably athletic. He's tall, he's athletic. And look at what happened last week. They're going to start manufacturing plays for this kid, right? He has what it takes. I believe he found the end zone last week. And
rushing touchdown.
Yeah, yeah. It was like some manufactured play behind the line of scrimmage, and he was off. He like followed a blockade into the end zone. I'm telling you now, as the season kind of progresses, as early as week 4, they're going to look for ways to get this kid involved. He has what it takes. He has all it takes to be a stud tight end in the NFL. And everybody talks about Pitts. Everybody's drooling over the moon for Kyle Pitts. He's a generational tight end. He's like a hybrid wide receiver. Meanwhile, Tommy Tremble is already doing it. Not comparing the two, not saying they're going to have the same type of career, but we have to use these short windows to our advantage. So I'm going all in on Tommy Tremble this week. I love Albert OK. I don't even know how to pronounce his Okenawunabam, the Denver Broncos tight end. Baltimore, they're playing Baltimore, as I said. Baltimore's 31st against defending tight ends. Albert, only $4,600 on FanDuel, $2,600 on DraftKings, and that's about it. I'm not going to spend time going over Jeff Swain, who I have in bottom of the barrel, Tennessee's tight end, and even Tommy Sweeney, it was like Buffalo's third tight end, but again, in that Buffalo offense, you want any and all pieces, and Buffalo playing Houston, so you're going to pick on Buffalo. And here's my thing: these high chalk teams week to week, like Kansas City and Buffalo, you can pivot from the same team. Everybody's going to be on Dawson Knox, who was in bottom of the barrel almost every week last year. Yep. Diggs, Josh Allen, and maybe both running backs. But what I'm saying is you can pivot from players on the same team. So give me Tommy Sweeney looking to get some scraps. This kid is $4,100 on FanDuel, dead last, $2,500 on DraftKings. And look, you're just looking for 2-3 catches for 20, 30 yards. And if he finds the end zone, hallelujah. Yeah, you're looking at 4 times the value here.
Doubt.
So keep your eyes on Tommy Sweeney. Same MO goes for, as I said, Jeff Swain, Geoff, not Jeff.
Geoff.
I hate that spelling for Jeff. And shout out to Jeff Lambert at Going for Two. No ill will. I love you, brother. His name is spelled the same.
Trevor Lawrence with a touchdown now. DJ Chark out of the game. Broken ankle officially. And going back to the last team to be consecutively shut out in back-to-back weeks there. Through my quick research,
the
2008, nope, not your team, my team, 2008 Cleveland Browns, led by Brady Quinn.
I will, really quick, if I may, DJ Chark broke an ankle. He's going to be, laid up 8 to 10 weeks?
Yep.
Minimum. And then even when he's back, he might be a little hesitant to cut on that ankle. I don't know. Awful situation. I wish him the best, but it opens the door for Jamal Agnew, who I mentioned in bottom of the barrel, who I mentioned in my Thursday night DFS video. I liked the play so much from a single game perspective, I cut a separate clip, a 20, 30-second clip of Agnew, and we already saw in the first quarter, my whole MO with Agnew was this kid's quick. They're going to build off that massive 109-yard botched field goal return. And look what happened.
Gus Johnson.
Yeah, look what happened in the first quarter. They already manufactured a play to him. They threw like a bubble screen behind the line of scrimmage, so expect a lot more of that. And Jamal Agnew is definitely on my bottom of the barrel radar for week 5.
Fantastic. Chris, thank you as always. Check out Chris on
appreciate
Twitter
you, man.
Detroit Beastie.
Anytime.
Check out bottom of the barrel at Team Riser Fall. Get Jacoby Brissett. It's basically like getting Jalen Hurts on a bargain. It's like all the Jalen Hurts numbers. Brother,
Absolutely.
we appreciate you. You have a great rest of your week.
All right,
Anytime,
Chris.
I'll
Thanks,
be in
brother.
touch. Thanks,
Later, bud.
All right.
Chris, always excellent. Always hitting us with all the info. For people who've just joined the show, bottom of the barrel, check it out, teamriserfall.com. He's saying guys you probably never even heard of. Tommy Sweeney, Tommy Tremble. Guys we're talking about, these are guys who can help you so you can stack your lineup with the Derrick Henrys, the Pat Mahomes, the guys we know are going to put up numbers. But now we're going to move on. Check out Chris at Detroit Beast before I move on. Anyway, we're going to move on. We got to talk Matt Nagy, and we're going to talk about him in a second here. Let me see if I even made a banner for this segment. I did not. Who cares? Let's get into it. We are arresting people. We are issuing warrants for arrest. And Drew, I'm going to start out with this. I already showed it. Arrest this fool. Listen, arrest this man. You see his face right there? He is the head coach of the Chicago Bears right now. Not for long. Not for long. because he is an absolute joke as a quarterback. Guru, which people thought he was because he worked with Pat Mahomes, he worked with Andy Reid. He's a joke as a head coach right now with his game planning. It makes zero sense. Mitch Trubisky, we all know he wasn't very good. Was it all Mitch Trubisky? Was it part Matt Nagy? Eventually, we might get to see that. However, what we got to see for all the people who said,
chill, bro, with
fault.
the Mitch Trubisky stuff. Come on, man.
We'll see. Maybe
we'll never know.
Maybe I'm wrong. We'll never know.
God, bless it with you and the Trubisky stuff.
I tried to get a Chicago writer on who wrote an article about Mitch not being the problem, just because I wanted to see what she actually had to say. But anyway, back to this week. I'm a Browns fan, man. Anyone who watches the show knows that. Anyone who knows me knows that. Anyone who's watching the show right now, watching me drink my Jack and Coke out of my Cleveland Browns glass, knows I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. My Browns won 26-6 last week, sacked Justin Fields 9 times. What was I more excited about? I was excited to see Justin Fields last week. I was excited to see how good my Cleveland Browns defense did. I'm worried because people are like, oh, the Browns defense are finally here. No, man. Justin Fields got his ass kicked because his head coach is a dipshit, just as Chris said. Matt Nagy goes in there with Myles Garrett talking all week about how he's getting chipped, how he's getting double teamed, how other people need to step up. Matt Nagy goes in there and he's like, hey, Jason Peters, I understand you've been in the league since Myles Garrett was in 3rd grade. I understand you're 186 years old. You got that moxie. You got that drive. You got that experience. I'm going to put you one-on-one with Myles freaking Garrett. And what did Myles freaking Garrett do?
What Myles Garrett does.
Attacked the hell out of Justin Fields. Justin Fields stood no chance last week because the game plan was terrible, because Matt Nagy was awful, and this fool needs to be arrested. Opening play of the game, David Montgomery gashed the Cleveland Browns defense for 18 yards. He went away from Montgomery. Montgomery had a total of 16 yards the rest of the game. Yes, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah from Notre Dame, the rookie, had a hell of a game, but only was in there for 23 snaps. He made an impact. He stopped Montgomery a few times. But why go away from what's working to then have your rookie quarterback, who you obviously didn't want to play in the first place, why have him have to go one-on-one to let your left tackle go one-on-one and leave your quarterback out to dry? It was just a terrible game plan by Matt Nagy. Arrest that fool. Warrant out for your arrest. That's all I have to say about that. And yeah, Mitchie could have been better, but Mitchie may still suck. I don't know. We'll never find out. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I don't know. But it doesn't have anything to do with Mitchie. It's Matt Nagy, who is terrible and almost killed Justin Fields in his rookie debut. That's all I have to say about that.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, Matt Nagy not only – okay, so when you have a rookie quarterback, the first thing that you do as an offense is try to, like, be able to run the football, to put him in positive situations.
Positive.
And to your point, the comments earlier in the week that Myles Garrett made, and then you don't chip him at all basically all game long. And so that's just not smart. I don't want to say Justin Fields has no blame in this, because he certainly does. And I get that the game plan was terrible. But then Matt Nagy now is like, well, we might start Andy Dalton. We might start Nick Foles. We might start Justin Fields.
We might start Jay Cutler. We might start Jim McMahon because he's smoking weed now and he's healthy enough to play at 57 years old.
All I know is the Lions come into town, and if Matt Nagy loses to the Lions, which he's going to,
I hope he does.
Then there's going to be some buzz in the Chicago area about Matt Nagy's job security, based off of the start and where. But I do feel confident the Lions probably go and win that game. I know it sounds like he's maybe giving up play calling duties this week.
He's not even telling anyone. They're like, it's going to be a guess. Because, it's going to make such a difference.
I'm going to flip a coin Sunday morning. If it's heads, I'm calling plays. Like, okay, all right. And remember when Matt Nagy was thought as of like a genius coach his first year? Like, they had some success, and Matt Nagy was like a good coach. And now all of a sudden, it's like he just like if you want to play games and don't tell us who is this and who is that, that's fine. But like the fact that you completely give up on your run game when you have a rookie quarterback and you continuously are getting smoked by Myles Garrett, and not only Myles Garrett, everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody is in your
9
lap all game,
sacks,
and then
4.5
you
by
just
Miles.
continue to throw it and throw it. It's like it's almost like you don't even think that it's possible that you wouldn't make adjustments at some point. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm with it. You're actually, I think, in the future for me now. How the tides have turned. It may be like a half second, but you're still in the. Congratulations, man!
Finally.
It's a nice place over here in the future.
Moving on up. Listen,
yeah, it's
Matt
a disaster there. It's a disaster there.
I mean, you said it. His first year there, you know what he did is he worked the team that he had. He didn't have his players yet. He had the guys that were there, and he took what was there and he worked to their strengths. That's why Mitch in his second year, 24 and 12 24 touchdowns, 12 picks, 3,200 yards. People were like, okay, maybe this kid can be good. And then it was downhill from there because he's like, you know what? We're going to be a pure passing team.
Not bring up Mitch. You got to bring up Mitch.
Because
you go out of your way. No, you go out of your way to bring up Mitch. Out of your way. There's absolutely no way.
It's not out of my way yet. It's like if we start talking Lions and I'm like, Mitch Trubisky's better than Jared Goff. If I start doing that, then you have it.
You may. I don't know. Yeah, I'm worried at this point.
I think we might talk Lions as we're talking about getting people arrested here. There's a chance, based on what happened last week, that there could be a warrant out for someone else who had to do something with the Lions. Anyway, Matt Nagy, I get it. Dude has a family, but I'm sick of his shit, and I don't even live in Chicago, Colorado. I don't know what's going on here. I'm hungry. Fat guy, hungry, starting losing my mind here. But anyway, Matt Nagy, arrest that fool for what he did because dude's just lost it. It makes no sense. Work with what you have to get better. You have become the white Hugh Jackson.
Though. Coaches don't change their philosophy and their game plan based off of the players they have, right? Yeah. It's like you can't run the Mitch Trubisky. There you go.
You bring up Mitch now?
Yeah. So you can't run a Mitch Trubisky offense with Justin Fields. Like he's going to excel at getting the ball out of the pocket. There's going to have to be max protection plays where it's basically like a guy on the left, a guy on the right, and a tight end running a route, and the running backs. I mean, like you got to be able to get him going and get him confidence because otherwise, like, what are we doing here? And not running the football is like I would be shocked if they did not have a solid commitment at running the football this week. The problem is they're just not going to be able to. Maybe
this team. The thing that bothers me more is you've got like 9 tight ends on that roster. You did at one point. You've got a lot of tight ends. Send one of them over to Myles Garrett's way. Chip him a little bit. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about another arrest warrant we need to put out. Wanted for stealing a Lions W. That is referee Scott Novak. Lead official for what happened on Sunday. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm going to let you take this whole segment.
I'm just like I'm not a big blame the refs guy, right? Like that's not who I am.
100%. Like, I know this guy. That's 100% true.
Like I get that shit happens, and it seems, but the problem that I have is just like it's like 10 fucking seconds, man. Like so, the Lions give up a 4th and 19, which is just inexcusable, right? And I get that, and I listen. When I was with the guys, and I haven't watched lots of football, this is like more like my family members are on a fantasy league. And like my brother-in-law, one of them just started playing fantasy football. So he's like, we're all watching it. And I said, the Lions are going to lose, right? Because like this is what happens. But the problem that I have is that the Lions, it has nothing to do with the Lions loss because the Lions they're going to lose lots of games. That's just going to be the way it is based off the roster. But to delay a game with 7 seconds left, a delay a game that's over two seconds after the play clock, which would result in a 10-second runoff, which the Lions have lost by one of those when we talk about the Golden Tate game and playing the Atlanta Falcons. So I'm well aware of the 10-second runoff. Mm-hmm. Doesn't get called. Okay. Doesn't get called. Lions get it been game over. No problem. But then, not only does Justin Tucker, and Justin Tucker, God bless him, Justin Tucker,
unbelievable kick
a 66-yarder, the fucking thing hits the crossbar. and bounces in. 66, the longest kick in the history of the NFL, hits the crossbar and goes in. How in the hell am I supposed to be okay with any of that? And then I see today, Madden, honorary Justin Tucker, 99 now.
99 club.
Yeah. And I see Justin Tucker. So, and it's like, listen, Justin Tucker's amazing. Like, the whole thing sucks. Mm-hmm. It sucks because we're not going to win many games. And everybody's like, oh, well, what about the draft pick? You don't have to have the number one draft pick to draft a game-changing player. Like, my team's not going to win many games. I'm going to root for them to win every single game they possibly can, whether it's 3, whether it's 4, however many it is. It sucks to suck. And we've sucked for a long time. We haven't sucked like this, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I knew that this was going to be what's happening coming into the season based off the roster, but damn it, we can beat ourselves. We don't need your help. And so, yeah, man, that was tough. That was tough. Just the whole, not only do they get robbed, but then the fucking thing doinking off the crossbar. It's just, you can't write a script like this.
No.
It's like we are in bad times right now.
I've lived this as a Browns fan. It's unfair how bad our teams have been for so long. And it's weird for me still to think my team is kind of good right now.
Enjoy it.
Sunday.
Enjoy it while you can.
Sunday, I'm watching the end of the Browns game. I've got Red Zone on. I'm watching the kick. I'm also keeping track on it because you're a Lions fan. I'm rooting for him for you.
I appreciate that. It's 66 yards. You're like,
I'm like,
it's 66
yards. It's 66 yards, but at the same time, I get to see Justin Tucker twice a year, and I'm like, if anyone's going to make this goddamn kick, it's Justin friggin' Tucker. And why he's not 99 already at kicker position in Madden makes no sense. There's nobody. He may be the best kicker of all time. That's how good he is. However, people this week, when I've talked to him about it, they're like, oh, the Lions blew the 4th and 19. Understandable.
That's a fact.
They blew that. However, the Raiders blew a 4th and 20 in overtime, let Gesicki get a 22-yard catch from Brissett, who Chris brought up earlier. He thinks he's going to be good this year or this week in bottom of the barrel, play him in DFS. The Raiders didn't get screwed by the refs in this game. They still ended up winning. If that 10-second runoff is called, the game is over.
It's over. The game is over.
The Lions win. That's why Scott Novak and his crew stole that W from the Detroit Lions. Kids in Detroit now are learning a 25-letter alphabet because he stole the W from the whole damn city.
Well, kids are just learning that you know what? It's okay to screw other people over. That's what they're learning. And it's awful. A shame the NFL would just push this agenda on these young children.
It is. And, man, I'm watching that, and I'm like I said, I was watching it on Red Zone. My Browns are going to win. I'm like, they're already killing this game. I was just watching to make sure Justin Fields made it through, and I wasn't going to have to, go check on him at Cleveland Clinic at some point. So I see the kick coming up. I'm like, fuck, if anyone's going to make this, man, I know it's him. So I see that kick. It hits the crossbar. And I've got 2 TVs set up. I got a 75 and a 55.
It hits the crossbar. There's a 99% chance it does not go in.
It hits a crossbar. Everyone knows usually when it hits crossbar, it's going away. Now, yes. I saw Phil Dawson beat the Ravens on a crossbar kick that went in. That happened one time. I think that game actually went to overtime. However, I see that game, and I see it hit the crossbar. I am jumping off the couch. My 300-pound ass jumping up like, holy crap, they beat the Ravens. That means the Ravens drop to 1-2. The Browns go to 2-1. That's a game up on the division for me. And I see that ball go up, and I see it hit the net, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, it was Christmas story.
I sat there in my bar stool, and like everybody's like, dude, they're like, that is the most heartbreaking loss. And I'm like,
it's top 5.
This is what we do. This actually makes me feel like Sundays are back. This makes me feel like the NFL is back. But I just sat there and did. Even this one seemed like a really, really tough for me because just the whole situation, the whole way it went down. I took it tougher than other losses. Not that it like ruined my day or anything, but it just everybody was like looking at me like I was just like, I'm like, this is it. This is the way things go. Like we're on to Chicago. We just lost on a historical play with a historically missed call, and that's just we move on to the next.
It happens, and my first thing is I got texture, and I'm like, I pull out my phone, and I'm like, I don't know what to write yet. I'm like, I don't know what to fucking say. And then I'm like, this shit happens all the time to him. I'm like, he's just gonna be like, I don't even know. And I'm like, I know you're gonna be pissed in the moment, but then eventually you're gonna be like, you know what, it just freaking happens every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was stolen. That was a terrible call. And hey, from now on in the NFL, listen, while your team's on defense, count down like they do with the shot clock. Count down the seconds. When it gets to like 8 seconds, 8, 7. So you're making noise. Get loud.
So, Lions fans, that's what they were saying on the Twitter, and they were saying like we just need to start counting the clock down, and so we'll see if that's something that actually happens. But I mean,
it's also another way to get loud and mess with the offense. Maybe you do it like they do in Duke, where they're like, "Oh, we're going to count down a little earlier, and people are going to chuck up shots with 3 seconds left."
How pissed are you going to be when the Lions come into Cleveland and beat the Browns? Like, how pissed are you going to be?
Listen, that game happens in November. If I don't see the Browns blow one random ass game when I think they're going to be good, then it wouldn't be Cleveland Browns football. Hopefully, they get that out of the way before then, so I can see them beat the Lions. But hey, who knows? It's possible. Like with the Browns,
I thought about going to that game, dude. I thought about buying tickets, but like, that's getting into sketchy weather time for me. And I'm not going to go freeze my ass off because I got red zone. I got this giant projector. I got a 70-inch next to it. There's no reason for me to go freeze my ass off.
Listen, I went to First Energy Stadium, Cleveland Browns Stadium, whatever it was, when I went and saw the Browns play Cam Newton in his final year with the Carolina Panthers. He's 2 rows from the field. I got to see how big Cam Newton is in person. He's freaking huge. He's a big dude. First time I ever saw him in person. We all stood up the entire game. Do you know why? Not because we were really into the game, because the Browns won that one pretty easy, and Jarvis threw a touchdown. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Because we were freezing our asses off. And yeah, you can say you dress up in your hunting gear, whatever, you're big, blah, 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 and I'm sure people will say that, but dude, I wanted them to build a dome. Give me the dome.
This beer is like $1 a piece. I get better angles. I get like that's the thing. Like I get wanting to be there, and especially when your team's good, but like I'm not gonna freeze like the Lions. My wife, when we first started dating, this was electric. She got me an Ndamukong Suh authentic jersey, which at the time was like that was the thing, and tickets to the Lions and sick tickets.
And were you married at the time, or
no, we were married. I haven't got.
This
cool
is
shit
why
like
you
that.
married her. I mean,
yeah. Well, right. I haven't got cool shit like that since. But like, so we go to.
You got 2 kids. You got cool shit.
There's snow everywhere, and we're inside Ford Field, and it's 75 degrees, and everything is good in the world. I'm cool with that experience. I don't want to be out in the cold. I just don't want to do it. Like that's the thing. Like I get like football should be played inside in the Midwest as far as I'm concerned. I just don't want it. Like the people in Green Bay that like go to these games. And I understand alcohol helps, but man, how much alcohol do you have to drink to be able to be out in the freezing cold?
We are going to get called pansies by anyone who watched this, but I don't care. I'm with you. I'm thinking about going to the Browns-Bengals game first week in November. And if the Browns are winning and the Bengals are still pretty good, that's going to be a fun game to be at. And I'll be in, down there in Cincinnati. I've never been to that stadium. I'm thinking, that could be fun.
Paul Brown
Stadium is going to be
beautiful
fun, but
facility, right on the water.
How god dang cold is it going to be?
It shouldn't be too bad on Nova, and it won't be too bad for the Lions game. It's just again like, do I want to go through the whole like getting down to the game and like how am I home from the game kind of thing? Because I'm definitely going to be drinking.
Hey, there's an easy way to get down there if you can make it. I think probably 5 miles from your house is an RTA. Takes you right down to the lakefront.
Not gonna ride an RTA. Nope, that's never gonna happen.
It's the train, and it is.
I've been on it.
Interesting time.
I left my wallet on the RTA coming back from the casino downtown one time, and some good Samaritan turned that shit in. It had no money in it because I just left the casino. but I mean, it's all about the ID. You just want to get your ID back. That's all it is.
All right, before we move on to our game picks here and our game of the week and then Ward's wagers, one more. Wanted by the FCC, Eli frickin' Manning. Were you in bed when this happened, or did you see this live?
No, I saw it. I actually, believe it or not, and I will say this on the record, I've stayed awake for every Monday night game.
Badass.
Even though Zeke closed the shit out for me early on, I stayed awake. I will not be staying awake for the next 4 until Eli and Peyton come back. I'm not going to listen to the broadcast as is. It's just not good.
Gracie.
It's not good. So Eli and Peyton's been freaking fantastic. Okay, so they had Stafford, Chris Long, Nick Saban, and LeBron James on one broadcast. So LeBron James is big of a figure that you could ever get on a actual televised show.
Yeah.
Then you throw in Nick Saban, who doesn't do much.
He literally said, "Oh, I'm taking a break right now from game film." He's like, "I don't watch many NFL games."
Yeah, exactly. And so you get and what they do is just so awesome. It's just such a letdown for ESPN. The problem that presents itself is ESPN's screwed. ESPN's screwed with this whole thing because nobody's watching the normal broadcast, nor should they. It's not anything close to being as good.
No.
They're now having it's Peyton and Eli are sitting there, and I also think that other networks are sitting there like, okay, if we could poach this for any of our commentating games, whatever it is, that they want that because it's that good. ESPN's in a tough spot at this point because people just aren't watching the regular broadcast. And if I was the people on the regular broadcast, for the record, I'd be pissed.
I'd be watching. I wouldn't even be talking. I'd be watching that broadcast because you learn a hell of a lot more. Yes, not only is it more fun, but you're learning so much from Peyton.
Yep.
Yes, Eli dips in every now and then. And yeah, it was fun to see Eli salsa, or them make Richard Sherman tweeting in and say that he's pretty sure that Eli lives at home with his parents.
My favorite is they keep putting up PFT commenters things every single week.
They're just having a great time.
They're just having
entertaining. It's so good. And Eli talking, for those of you who don't know, or you want to see the picture again, follow me on Twitter at SomervilleCLE. It's my profile picture right now because it was the highlight of the night for that. Eli talking about how every time he was talking to Chris, they were talking to Chris Long, former Philadelphia Eagle. Yep. It was Eagles Cowboys. Eli talking about how when he goes to Philadelphia, 9-year-olds give him the double bird. And he just throws them up on the broadcast and doesn't think that, oh, this is live. He's like, oh, they can just blur this out. No, this is live going out over the air. Absolutely hilarious. Eli, Peyton, y'all got to watch that.
They're both funny as hell. They're both funny as hell. And it's good. It's good dry humor.
It is. It's great. It's a lot of fun. And you learn a ton. And then you're listening to Nick Saban and Peyton Manning break down a random play or a few random plays from a 2005 Dolphins and Colts game. This is 16 years ago, and they're talking about it like it just happened.
And it's the best, dude.
It is.
Because other people aren't telling you, they're telling you what the quarterback's going through, and that's kind of all we want to know, really. Because it also tells you what the defense is thinking.
Yep. So
they tell you pretty much everything that you need to know, and it's not just like a 2-yard dump off. He's tackled at the 6 kind of thing. And I get that some people's criticism is that they don't get into the whole game itself.
Yeah.
But I can watch it. I've watched enough football games. So I don't need you to tell me every single thing that happens. Yep. It's as good as it gets.
It is. It's entertaining. You're learning, and yeah, you can watch the game. You can see a running back take a 3-yard carry. You can watch a quarterback throw a 10-yard slant. But then they back up and you see Eli break. Eli's really good at breaking down plays. Obviously, he was a pretty solid football player. Still don't know if he's a Hall of Famer. We've talked about that many times on the show. But that is just an entertaining way. Let's get into our game picks here. Both of us sitting at 35-13. Last week, you were 10-5, including picking – there was a game you picked. Oh, Chargers over Chiefs. You picked that one. I picked Bengals over Steelers. But I was one game down on you. 9-6 last week. You were 10-5. So we are tied going into this game going on right now. Jacksonville and Cincinnati. It's 14-0 at half. Do you think the Bengals come back and win this, or does Jacksonville get a W?
I think Jacksonville does enough to control the clock and keep this thing 14-10. This is peak Thursday night football. By the way, this is as good as we get on Thursday. This game, the NFL knew this game was going to be this when they scheduled it. 6 months ago. So we're in for an electric dumping down, running scheme there from the Jaguars. So definitely stay tuned into this barn burner.
Yeah, give me like 5 touchdowns on the second half, Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase.
No, nobody wants that.
I do.
That was a good first half for me.
Yeah, say the least. All right, Washington football team 1-2 at Atlanta Falcons 1-2. Hey, remember when we thought Washington had a good defense? What the hell happened there? Who you got?
Yeah, I'll take Atlanta.
I will take Washington. And
they have a good front four.
They do, but are they going to show up? I feel like they just are like, hey, Chase Young's pretty good, and Montez Sweat can do some things, Jonathan Allen, but they've done nothing. Mm-hmm. Houston Texans 1-2 at Buffalo Bills 2-1.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that should be an easy one. There's at Highmark Stadium. Crazy. I didn't even realize it was named that. Did you? Did you know that Orchard Park is Highmark Stadium?
No.
Okay, we both learned something.
They'll just name this shit. Anybody who throws them the most money, they're like, yeah. Build-A-Bear Stadium? Absolutely. We're in.
Speaking of the Bears, that is our next game. Chicago did buy property out in Arlington Park. They could possibly be eventually moving. I think if they move within the next 4 years, they owe the city of Chicago $86 million. So it's something that wouldn't happen until like 2032. However, when they start building that new stadium, if they do, they should talk to Build-A-Bear about the Build-A-Bear Stadium because it'd be a perfect time for it.
Yes.
Drew's taking the Lions.
Yeah, I am. Don't be a scumbag.
I am also taking the Lions. The 3-0 Carolina
This is probably going to be
Panthers.
like one of the only times I take the Lions the whole year. So let's rejoice and be glad.
It is interesting that we're both taking the Lions, but like I said earlier, fuck Matt Nagy. Anyway,
if Matt Nagy may get fired if he loses. We'll see what happens.
I hope the Lions blow him out because Matt Nagy, listen, you were good at one point. You have gone downhill. Carolina Panthers 3-0 travel to AT&T Stadium. 1 o'clock kickoff. This is going to be an interesting one. This is on Fox. Kevin Burkhardt, Craig Olsen. Kevin Burkhardt is I like Kevin Burkhardt as an announcer. He had the Browns game last week. Greg Olsen, not so great yet. We'll see. Matt Rule meeting the Cowboys for the very first time. He's 3-0. Sammy D traveling to face Dak and the boys. Who do you like in this one?
Give me Dallas. Give me Dallas here. And I like what Carolina's doing, but no McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. I certainly think that they've done a really nice job, and I think it's a really kind of a nice roster. As long as quarterback position stays playing well, they're going to be a decent team. But I think I like Dallas this week. Dallas's offense is lethal.
And Micah Parsons. Parsons looks like a badass on defense. I didn't think he was going to be as good as he is, and they're like, hey, you know what?
And he slipped in the draft. Yeah. He slipped way down in the draft for Dallas to be able to get him. So,
and he's gone from linebacker to they're making him an edge rusher now, and he's just playing whatever they need him to, and he's done really good. And maybe Zeke is finally back, averaging 4.5 yards a carry now. I do like Chuba, though. We'll see if Chuba can carry the rock. But what the Panthers need to do is whatever happened to Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson last year finally gets away from Sam Darnold. Hell of a season. Carolina signed him a 3-year, $36 million extension. Sammy D comes back, and this guy disappeared. Will we find Robbie Anderson this week? I think that we need to, and if they do, I'll take the Panthers on that. Indianapolis Colts 0-3. Travel to the Miami Dolphins 1-2.
I'm going to take the Colts.
You're going to take the Colts. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Why?
Jacoby.
I don't know. I just feel like it's their time to win. Cleveland Browns 2-1. Travel to Minnesota. This is the homecoming game everyone's talking about this week. Kevin Stefanski returning to Minnesota where he was for 14 years. I mean, there's no other big homecoming game this year, is there? I mean, or this week?
Nope. This is it. I'll take the Browns.
From the other side. Okay, anyway. I'm worried about this game. I'm not going to lie.
Shouldn't be.
Kirk Cousins, what he did last week, is that the one Kirk Cousins really good game that we see every year? Or is this team actually...
Dalvin Cook's nicked up.
He is.
I know Madison had a really nice game on the ground. And they've actually done nice things offensively. You're a better team. You should go win this football game. And I'm going to take the Browns.
I also am going to take the Browns. New York Giants 0-3. Joe Judge's team
Terrible
still
team.
Struggling.
Terrible team. Joe Judge needs to be arrested as well.
The New Orleans Saints.
Joe Judge needs to face a judge. Yeah,
New Orleans
Jameis.
Saints, who
Jameis.
this team is Jekyll and Hyde, man. Like, what are we getting?
Hey,
Like, they
this
got
is
lucky to
Jameis,
win
dude.
last
This
week.
is Jameis season, dude. This team's not going to be a consistent team. This is why you can't bet them, right?
No.
Like, you bet them, and it's like I messed around and played Jameis Winston in my starting lineup in a fantasy league like 2 weeks ago, and he had like 47 yards or something. So that wasn't good. Yeah, I'm actually going to go with New Orleans here, though. I'm going to hope that I catch the right side of the Jekyll and Hyde.
I mean, this is supposed to be the first game back at the Superdome. I think the energy is going to be there. I think
I forgot about that.
Jameis eating a dub.
Eating doves.
Eating dubs. Tennessee Titans 2-1 travel to New York to face Zach Wilson, Robert Saleh.
I still think Zach Wilson's fine, but I'm gonna take Tennessee. I'm not overly concerned at this point. Everybody needs to relax a little bit. It's not like Zach Wilson has a plethora of options to get the ball to, and they haven't been able to run it. They haven't been able to throw it. It's not like it's all on him.
No. Has he been good? No. Did we expect him to be amazing coming out in the draft? I didn't. I didn't expect any one of these quarterbacks to come in and be what we saw. We didn't expect Herbert to be what he was. Now we're the Herbert Hive. But these guys are playing like rookies, and they're on bad teams. All they need to do is focus on getting better. Trevor Lawrence playing way better tonight. Will that continue in the second half? We'll see. I'm going with the Titans as well.
Urban is actually coached tonight. That first half was Urban kind of swallowing some pride and understanding that he needs to run the football and work some play action, because we haven't seen that thus far in the season. I think that was well done by Urban. We'll see what happens in the second half, because Urban always will stray from the run to the pass when if the Bengals do put on some pressure here in the second half, you could expect a Trevor Lawrence turnover. But as for now, it's been pretty good.
It has been. One half.
Jamar Chase also injured.
Jamar Chase.
They had to amputate his leg at halftime.
Oof, that'd be rough.
No, I'm
you see tears coming down my face, possibly.
I don't want to put out false things. He's fine. He's fine.
Weird thing to say right here. The cellar dweller of the AFC West, the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs, face the Philadelphia Eagles from Lincoln Financial Field. This is in Philly. Home of the 9-year-olds throwing double birds.
It's
Kansas City bouncing back.
Yeah, it's blowout city.
I'm with you.
Kansas City's the Eagles are going to get embarrassed. Here's the deal: Patrick Mahomes, that team's not a 1-2 football team. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if you lose again, then you get into some territory that's uncomfortable. So I expect Kansas City to go in there and roll.
They need to. They should.
And they will.
And it's a weird thing to think that if Daniel Sorensen doesn't trip up Baker Mayfield in that first game, there's a possibility, and I'm not saying they end up doing anything, but there's a possibility as we're getting into hyper blah, blah, blahs here. Anyway, there's a chance it could have been 0-3, but they're 1-2. Speaking of teams who haven't lost, though, which we weren't, but now we are, Arizona Cardinals, who Drew said at the beginning of the year they're going to win the NFC West. Looks like he's right. I said the Rams are going to win the NFC West.
You look
like I'm right as well.
Yeah, looks like that.
Both teams 3-0. This is a big game for regular season. Matt Stafford led them to a victory over Tampa Bay last week.
Where's this game at?
It is in LA at SoFi. 4:05 kickoff. Chris Myers, Daryl Johnston, Jennifer Hale on Fox. This game's interesting because Cardinals looked like they were screwing around early in the game last week, but they bounced back. A.J. Green, 5 catches, 112 yards. He's back to life.
No, he was back to life for 1 week.
1 week.
He's still on the respirator. I mean, Jacksonville had a 109-yard kick return.
They did. And
the game wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't as close as it was, but it kind of wasn't.
Jacksonville also called a flea flicker deep in their own territory that Trevor Lawrence was like, "Oh, I got the ball back and falling in the end zone. Let's just chuck it up." 3-0 teams. This is going to be a good game. Should be. Who you got winning this one?
I mean, I'm going to defer to you on this one.
I'm taking the Rams. I'm sticking with the Rams. I think the Rams are really good this year. I think they're the better team.
I'm also taking the Rams.
Now,
I know that kind of. I'm just taking the Rams.
Really crazy thing about this is Cliff Kingsbury 0-4 against the Rams. That was a beautiful drop in from Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase. Sean McVay 8-0 against the Arizona Cardinals. However, I think this could be a big game for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's played really well in games that don't matter. This is a big game a quarter of the way through the season.
Oh,
Kyler
sure.
Murray, if he wants to stay in that MVP talk, this is a big game for him. Staying in the NFC West, Seattle Seahawks 2-1 travel to the San Francisco 49ers, who are now 2-1 after dropping a tight one to the Aaron Rodgers emo-led Green Bay Packers. Who you like in this one?
Seahawks. I do like Seahawks. Yeah, I think they get it back going. The Seahawks kind of need to win this game.
I think they do as well because they played like crap last week.
I know it's early, but they did a good first half last week, and then the second half it was just completely they couldn't do anything. And the defense couldn't get off the field, so it's a big week for Pete Carroll and the boys and Mr. Ruspies.
I think this is also a big game for the San Francisco 49ers because you had a chance to be up 3-0. You gave Aaron Rodgers 37 seconds, and now you're 2-1.
I don't want to talk about
and
that.
you could drop to 2-2. I mean, neither one of these.
Aaron Rodgers with 30-some seconds. I just don't want to hear it. Like I'm so tired of Aaron Rodgers. You give Aaron Rodgers any time and he wins. It's the most annoying shit ever. I'm tired of it.
I swear to God, if CJ this son of a bitch, fantasy-wise, CJ Uzomah, who I had on my fantasy team every week up until now, where I'm finally like, you know what, he hasn't done anything. Touchdown, Joe Burrow. Bengals getting back in this game.
Touchdown thing, but
CJ Uzomah better than Jamar Chase for you. Anyway, Baltimore Ravens. No, for fantasy purposes, not. I mean, I'm hungry and I'm a little tipsy, but I'm not that messed up just yet. Baltimore Ravens 2-1 at Denver Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater 3-0. What are we thinking here? Lamar struggling, back injury now this week, but we always say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm going to take Baltimore.
Okay.
Yep. Baltimore in kind of a big way. A 10 to 17 point win.
Wow. I think it's going to be a tight game. I do like what Denver's doing, but I got to go with the I have to go with the Ravens there. Pittsburgh Steelers 4:25 kickoff at Lambeau Field. Referee Scott Novak.
Packers. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen, Ben Roethlisberger's like a dead guy out there. Bring in Dwayne Haskins. What are we doing here?
Watching Ben right now. Like I said,
brings you great joy.
No, it's almost sad to see what he is. Like I sent you the clip on Twitter of the dude throwing a pass and then just kind of dropping like he died after he threw the football. Like,
as long as you get it away. As long as you get it away.
This kid, like he's this dude. He hasn't been a good dude most of his life. Okay, we got a lot of allegations, R. Kelly, but seeing a Hall of Fame type player just really start to lose it is almost kind of sad to see, but hey, it's going to happen to anyone.
Yep.
Why not him? Monday night, we are skipping the Sunday night game because it is our game of the week. Las Vegas Raiders, 3-0. Chucky.
Raiders.
Derek Carr.
The Raiders.
Derek Carr already talking smack to the Chargers, saying this is basically going to be a home game for them. Monday night at SoFi.
Yeah.
At the $5 billion stadium, Justin Herbert, Derek
Chargers
Carr.
by $1 billion.
Chargers. You did take Chargers last week. This is the Herbert hive.
Listen, I don't think the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders are.
I think they've 4 spots since we started the show.
I don't think they're that legit, and I actually think that the Chargers and the roster that they have is legit. So I'm going to take the Chargers this one. They're the better football team. I don't care which way you slice it up. I respect what Derek Carr is doing. Justin Herbert's a better player. And what Mike Williams has done in this new offense has been incredible. And then you throw in Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. Yeah, they just have pieces everywhere offensively. I will take the Chargers.
Chargers roster is a scary good roster. And Justin
It
Herbert
is.
has been amazing to start the season. Like you said, Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Mike Williams, people thinking he's a bust. Now all of a sudden he's like,
He's the
listen,
number one
I'm
fantasy
6'5".
football wide receiver right now in fantasy. So number one in fantasy. So yeah,
It's a big deal. I mean,
if he stays
fantasy's been
healthy.
weird this year, and I was going to talk to Chris about that, but we talk about other stuff instead. But you also look at this defense: Joey Bosa, Kaiser White, Asante Samuel Jr. balling out as a rookie, probably getting Rookie of the Week this year or this week. I also will take the Chargers. And now, before we get into awards wagers, which is why everyone's still here, Tampa Bay Buccaneers 2-1, traveling to New England 1-2. Tom Brady returning home to New England, where he won 6 Super Bowls with a chance to break the NFL's all-time passing record, to face his former head coach, who the owner of the team said in his explosive tell-all book that's coming out is a fucking asshole. I almost said effing a-hole, but we've been swearing on the show all night.
It's too late. It's too late. Yeah,
This is
cleaned it up early.
FCFS after dark, baby. That's what happens
That's right.
here. But this game, it's going to be so hyped up. They've got the Today Show there. They've got NBC News or someone. Everyone's talking about it. They've got the Adele commercial, which is giving people goosebumps. There's all this buildup. And I don't even think this game's going to be within like 2 touchdowns.
No, it's not. It's not. The Patriots aren't that good. Like that. It's just the way it is. Like Tom's going to get in there and get his revenge, and you better believe that if Bruce Arians has the opportunity to run up the score, he's going to run the score up.
You think Brucey would do that? I think Brucey would do that.
Yes. Bruce Arians, if there was one coach in the league that I would say that I think would do that, it would be Bruce Arians.
It wouldn't surprise me if midway through the fourth quarter, they're up like 3 scores, and Bruce got the Kangol hat on, smoking a cigar, like lighting it up.
Throwing go routes. Just absolute goes.
Just chucking it.
Yep.
I mean, they are without Scotty Miller this week.
Nobody cares about that.
Exactly. Yeah. But they do get Antonio Brown back. You still got Chris Godwin. Tampa Bay's loaded. They lost
Mike Evans. Mike Evans is a guy.
Yeah, don't forget about Mike Evans, how good he is.
He's got like 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's a dude out there.
No. I mean, this is Bill Belichick, though. What is he going to throw at Tom Brady?
Yeah, I'm not worried about Bill Belichick. He doesn't have the roster to throw it at him. Like, I get, like, you can say whatever you want, but, like, when you don't have the players to put out there to run the scheme that ultimately you think can slow down Tom Brady, which I think Bill Belichick knows the scheme that can throw Tom Brady, to slow Tom Brady down. Absolutely, I do. But I don't think he has the guys, because he hasn't signed Jamie Collins to go out there and just take care of business.
Jamie Collins, guy has been excellent in New England. Browns gave him a lot of money.
Him and Jelani Tavai could make some noise there at the linebacker.
Browns gave him a lot of money. Lions gave him a lot of money. He got a lot of money from us, and he's going to probably end up back in New England.
He gives zero effort.
As we're talking about this game, we both are going to go with Tampa Bay, and it's for that reason. He doesn't have the horses to face Tom Brady. Will they put up some things that maybe Brady has never seen? We'll see. If anyone's going to do it, it's the hoodie. He's that good. We know that. But getting back to this game that we've talked about, the Thursday night game, Cincinnati crowd getting loud. They're down a touchdown, getting the ball back. Jacksonville feeling pressure here already in the third quarter?
Yes.
Looks like it.
Dude, it doesn't. Again, did you see the third down play they called?
No.
It was a screen on 3rd and 7. That shows you that they're not trusting their quarterback at this point. Like, I get the screenplay, I get running it, but again, it's kind of sketchy. Like it just means that you're willing to try to run a play where you have to have great blocking instead of getting the ball in a playmaker's hands. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think it's I don't want to say it's panic time, but they need to get shit together.
It's starting to look like that. And without further ado, it's time for the reason everyone's here.
Here comes the money.
Wards Wagers, 3-1 last week, 12-9 on the year. It is sponsored by Latani CBD olive oil. To order, call 440-479-4832 or email anandamij@gmail.com. It is $14.99 a bottle. That's right, 3-1 last week. So if you listened to Drew last week, you made money. If you listen to Drew all year, you're up. Listen to what the man says. Ward's Wagers, hashtag, if you get a bet, anyone who's watching this, listen to this later, you place a bet and use Ward's Wagers, do us a favor. Hit that hashtag up on Twitter, let us know, or hit us up in the comments. What do you got for us, brother?
Yeah, so I'll start with Kansas City, traveling to Philly, as we talked about. For me, Philly's offense just has been suspect. We saw what happened with Dallas last week. I'm going to take Kansas City -7, even on the road, and I feel pretty good about that one. The next one, we travel to Soldier Field, where you won't hear me make this pick very often. You really won't. I promise you, because I understand that the state of my football team, but I'm going to take the Detroit Lions and the 3 points. I love the field goal, even on the road. The third game I'm going to take is going to be Cleveland -2, heading up to Minneapolis to that shitty, stupid team. I will take Cleveland -2.
Skull.
Yeah. And then the final one I'm going to take here is I'm going to take the Chargers -3 at home against the Las Vegas Raiders.
So to recap, we got KC -7, Detroit +3, Cleveland -2, LA Chargers -3, if I have these written down correctly.
Yep, I think this might be the only time I play the Lions this year. So
Lions and the Browns in that. So if you're hitting a parlay and you got Lions and Browns, people are going to be like, you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
You're like, listen, I watched Ward's Wagers. This is what I was told to do.
Joe Mixon try to jump over
money. Yeah, he did he need to jump on that play? I saw
No,
it out of the corner of my eye.
No, running backs don't need to ever jump.
I feel like he could have went through Andrew Wingard there.
Yeah. Joe Mixon's just out there jump.
I mean,
jump
hey,
around.
boys got hops. Without further ado, anything else you want to get off your chest tonight?
That's it, brother. I hope everybody has a good rest of your evening and a good weekend.
Same here. Hope everyone enjoys their week. Anything on the T we're catching up on other than sports?
No.
Nothing? No good documentaries or anything?
Yeah, I'm a Big Brother guy. Just ended. So Big Brother ended.
And that was a big deal. I don't remember. I read it this morning. I'm like, there's a Big Brother article. I got to read it because Drew watches it. I'm like, I'm going to be good like that. And why? I don't remember what it was this morning. It was a long time ago. Why was it a big deal this dude won? What was it?
So 6 African Americans made the final 6.
Okay.
So that in itself, there's no African American person that's ever won.
Okay, nice.
And Xavier, who won, is from the Detroit area. So, and he's also, I don't know if I should even say this. He's also on my fantasy Big Brother team.
Nice.
So I got money coming my way. I'm in multiple fantasy Big Brother leagues. So it's not great. It could be slightly embarrassing, but I did have Xavier. And I actually had 3 of the final 6, which was credit to me and my wife. My wife was part of it. So we got money coming our way from Big Brother. So good stuff. Good stuff happened.
Big spender, time to go put that money on the Browns and the Lions this week.
That's right.
Brother, I hope you have a great night.
Oh, you too, man.
I hope you have a good weekend. And to everyone else out there, remember, like, share, comment, help us out. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Follow Chris at Detroit Beast. Follow Drew at Detroit Dave 7. Get those golf tips. Watch a show on Monday, the Approach Podcast, every Monday.
Sir. Thank you. Yep.
At Somerville CLE on Twitter. Follow all of us. Follow on the pod at FCFS Pod, even though I hardly tweet there. I always forget about it. Anyway, without further ado, remember, as always, if you live the life you love the life you live. Night, kids.